Greetings! Welcome to the Fortress of Dorkness, the nerdy nexus for all your geeky needs. I'm your host, Christian Villarreal. Today on Coming to Terms, we're going to talk about the differences in popular film formats. There's many a variety of formats, from CinemaScope to Omnimax, to Wonderama to Otisburg. Otisburg? If we tried to go over them all, we'd be here all night. To simplify things, we've selected the 6 most common formats you've probably heard of. 8mm. 8mm film stock was developed by Eastman Kodak in 1932 as a cheaper alternative to 16mm film and has an aspect ratio of 4:3. Variations include Super 8, Straight 8, and Crazy 8. Wait, didn't he die? Due to the cheap nature of 8mm film stock, it was mostly used for home videos. 16mm. Eastman Kodak released this one in 1923 as a more cost-effective alternative to 35mm film. Are you noticing a trend? Can we make it more affordable? Lunch PA, bring me my questionably alternative 1mm camera. You can find 16mm in 3 different formats: regular old 16, Super 16, and Ultra 16. 16mm has an aspect ratio of 1:3:3 and is a popular choice for television, independent films, auteurs, and unfortunately, this channel's director. What? 35mm. Ah, 35mm, the chosen one, the messiah of celluloid, the juicy innards of camera and lens. 35mm was conceived as far back as 1892, when Columbus didn't sail the ocean blue, and it was developed by Thomas Edison, William Dixon, and supplied by George Eastman. Super 35 and widescreen are just a few of the numerous formats out there. 35mm is considered the standard of filmmaking. If you've ever laid your ojos on a film prior to 2005, it was probably 35mm. It was standardized in 1909 by the Motion Picture Patents Company so that distribution around the globe would be seamless. It also helped that Thomas Edison had a major investment in 35mm and the Motion Picture Patents Company too. 70mm, also called 65mm if you look at it from the side, this one is rarely used today but is considered one of the most premium film formats. It has an aspect ratio of 2:20:1, giving it a grandiose, lush, vivid, busty, voluptuous, wait, where am I going with this? Landscapes. This was a popular film format in the mid-20th century for historical epics, musicals, and other monumental films that needed to invoke a larger scale. These days, it's mostly been replaced by the IMAX format, which, funnily enough, actually stretches the image in the opposite direction. Examples include Lawrence of Arabia, The Sound of Music, and in more recent context, Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight. Director New Omar was quoted as saying, "Damn it, Christian, stop asking me that question and get back to work." But for the record, I do love working with the 70mm format. IMAX, the creme de la creme, the cream of the crop. Developed in 1967 by a pair of Canadian lads, IMAX is a large format with an aspect ratio of 1:4:3:1. Initially, it was used in museums, presentations, and documentary-style films, and was considered unusable for theatrical films due to its large size. That is, until Walt Disney's Fantasia 2000, released on January 1st of the year 2000. Now, everyone wants a piece of the delicious 16K pie. Since Fantasia, a slew of films have been partially shot on IMAX, but the first film to be shot entirely on the IMAX format is Avengers: Infinity War Part 1. Digital. Lastly, we come to digital, which is a little different because it encompasses way too many formats within itself to go over. Digital images are measured in pixels, and aspect ratios vary depending on the camera sensor. Sony began developing their first digital filmmaking camera in the late 80s, but it wasn't until Jorge Lucas added digital format shots to Star Wars Episode 1 The Phantom Menace that it actually picked up. Thus, with Lucas's help, Robert Rodriguez's Once Upon a Time in Mexico became the first big-budget film to be shot entirely in the digital format. That's it for today. If you have any questions, comments, or snotty remarks, leave them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow us on our Facebook and Twitter. This has been the Fortress of Dorkness. I'm Christian Villarreal, and always remember, never fear the dork up here.